Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Manufactured Housing Expert channel. My name's Shane Jaffe. I am the Manufactured Housing Expert. Right now, we're standing at Tiny Fest 2020. Here at Del Mar, California, and we are with Rene. Rene is the founder of this event, and so thank you very much for giving us your time. We know you're very busy. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about you?
Sure. I'm Rene with Tiny Fest California, Tiny Fest Midwest, and Tiny Fest Northwest.
So, you know, a lot of people are dying to know, how did you get into this this space?
Yeah.
What motivated you?
Well, I had been to some other tiny house festivals in different parts of the country, but there was none of them where I lived in the Midwest. And I was always trying to explain myself, why do I live in 87 square feet, and why not just an RV, and you know, all this, and the questions you get all the time. And I thought, I need to let people know about this alternative living style here in the Midwest. So I said, I'm going to have an event there. And I became an event organizer like that.
Very cool. I was doing some reading from the numbers from last year to this year, 2019 to 2020. It seems like you've had an amazing turnout, some awesome vendors.
Yes.
What, you know, how did you grow so big?
Well, this is our 7th event.
Okay.
So things have grown a bit that way. But I tell you what, the need here in San Diego is so strong. The tiny house movement overall is building, you know, and so it's just at that critical point now that we're ready to really become legal in a lot of places. More places are talking about it. More municipalities, cities, counties are working on their codes and changing them, and more people are realizing what a great idea it is.
Now, you know, that's one thing that a lot of local governments don't allow this type of housing yet, but we are in a housing crisis in the state of California. So what kind of, are you working with any local governments? And if so, which ones are you working with?
Well, actually, the day before each Tiny Fest festival, so we have Tiny Fest California, Tiny Fest Midwest, and Tiny Fest Northwest.
Okay.
The day before the festival starts, we have a symposium. So here in San Diego, we had a group, the American Tiny House Association, San Diego chapter. They led that symposium and they did an amazing job. So since we have all these great houses here, and we know the tiny house experts, and they're pretty well here anyway, we invited city and county officials, the policymakers. We had over 80 of them and 10 municipalities here in the San Diego area represented. And so that's how we really try and connect. We talk to them about how they can make the change and what questions they have, and just really explaining the different types of homes, like what is a manufactured, what is a modular, what's a park model, what's a tiny house on wheels, and see what we can do to help them. And then we talk to the general public when they're coming in, and we have workshops and presentations about what they can do to talk to their officials. Okay. So we kind of hit it from this end, and try and bring everybody together in the middle.
Very cool. So in the state of California, this is where I specialize in.
Yes.
But where would you move next? What other counties would you go to? Is there anywhere in Northern California? Have you thought about that?
So the first California event that I did was in San Jose. Oh. So I think that for the festival and for the housing needs, the strongest contenders for a Tiny Fest soon would be large metropolitan areas such as the San Francisco Bay Area, Los Angeles, and we'll definitely be back here in San Diego. We're awesome. Being treated really well. People are loving it, and we're just so happy. We'd
love to talk about some of the pros and cons.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
What would you say are maybe 3 of the top pros and reasons why people are converting to this tiny home lifestyle?
Yeah. So, you know, the top reason that I see is freedom. But that freedom can be freedom from financial stress. It can be freedom from all the stuff around us. They say the average American home has 300,000 items in it. That's a lot of things to pay attention to.
300,000?
300,000.
Wow.
I mean, look at the storage industry. It's huge. 1 in 11 American households has a storage unit. that they're paying for and checking on and looking through, whatever. It's crazy. So when you get rid of all the extra stuff in your world that you don't really need, your mind is freed up, you have less stress, and you can pay attention to the things that are really important. So yeah, so I'd say the freedom from financial and from the stuff are the big ones.
Okay.
And sometimes it's just purely out of need. So if you need to spend less on housing and you really want your own home instead of somebody's apartment that you have no control over, and you want to have that house of your own, then these provide an option for people, and a nice one. If you're willing to give up a little space, you can get a great house and that you love and you're proud of.
Yeah, very cool. Now, so you have a tiny home.
Me too.
How many square feet is it?
It's 87 square feet, and I've lived in it for 4 years and 4 days.
4 years and 4 days.
Yeah.
And that's your full-time home?
It is.
So did you drive that from the Midwest and you're sleeping in it last night?
No, I'm sleeping in my van. No, I actually just drove it from Oregon to Iowa. And so it stayed there. I had to bring a whole bunch of stuff to get ready for everybody here at Tiny Fest, and so that was my big concern, was getting all the gear here.
So what did you move from?
Well, I had a 3,300 square foot house.
Okay.
5-bedroom, 4-bath.
Wow.
And then between that I had an apartment, and then down to the tiny house. So it was a step and a step.
So 4 years, 4 days.
Yeah.
So what are the biggest challenges that you have faced living in this tiny home?
I think my biggest challenge is that my tiny house was not designed as well as it could be. It works for me, but it's not designed to have company. I kind of bought it, the price was right, the timing was right, and I thought, I'll just have this for a little while and I'll get another one, see how I use the space. By the way, that's one of the great things about the festivals. You can come in and see the space and feel it and know, oh, I like this, but I would need more of that. So that's what I did. I got this house and I said, I need to have a place where I can have company.
Yeah.
It's just not set up to have company, and I love having friends over. I love having my family over.
Well, that's why you have the Tiny Home Fest. You have,
yeah.
There's how many people showed up? You have 3,500 friends and family members?
Yesterday we had about 8,000, 9,000 friends, tiny living friends. But I do have friends out here, this whole tiny village outside. They're my friends, and my family is here helping.
That's so awesome. So what message would you like to share with everybody out there watching this video today?
Yeah, well, I'd just like to say that there are different sizes of tiny homes. 87 square feet is really extreme. But even if you downsize to something that's 240 or maybe 320 or maybe 600, then you're going to notice a change in your life and just that release of stress. It's amazing how it just magically happens. And you'll find that message from a lot of people. So finding the house that's right for you.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rene.
Thank you.
We really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you for watching this edition to the Manufactured Housing Expert channel. If you haven't checked out Tiny Fest, you're going to want to make sure you do. Also, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be posting videos on a weekly basis. And you're going to come back next year?
I already told the fairgrounds we're going to have a meeting when this is over and find a new date.
Awesome.
So tinyfest.events is the website.
Okay.
And as soon as I have that all secured, I will announce it and the date will be there.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.